It was a tragedy so narrowly averted this afternoon. A Secret Service agent on the advance team on the golf course, a few holes ahead of the former president as he played the Trump International Golf Course. He was in the fifth hole in West Palm Beach, Florida, while that agent spotted a muzzle of a weapon poking through a chain link fence. The gunman secreted by bushes. That agent opening fire, the suspect now in custody. David Spunt on the phone now with more on that suspect and this developing story that came so close, it seems. Hi, David.
Yeah, hey, Eric. Hey, Molly. We're told the suspect's name is Ryan Wesley Routh, R-O-U-T-H. Not much more known about him at this time, except that he's the suspect currently in custody right now. Palm Beach Sheriff's Office says that he was taken into custody by the Martin County Sheriff's Office, just the county north of Palm Beach, was taken into custody after escaping the scene in his black SUV. According to the sheriff in Palm Beach, he did not make any sort of initial statement when he was taken into custody. They're expected to be releasing more details, a mugshot, whatnot later. But we're continuing to dig into who he is, who Ryan Routh is, where he's from, his background. We're seeing a little bit online. We want to be careful and make sure we have all of the information correct before we present it to our loyal viewers. But we can tell you right now that his name is Ryan Wesley Routh. Eric, Molly.
Why are they so gung-ho about trying to assassinate Trump? In my lifetime, I mean, because this is the type of stuff that you read about on TV. This is not the type of stuff that you read about or that you hear about happening in real life, right? We haven't experienced this in my 42 years. The closest that we ever came to somebody doing something to a president is when a dude threw a shoe at George W. Bush. We have not experienced this. I haven't seen this in my lifetime towards any public official, let alone a former president or a person that's running for president of the United States of America. The first thing that come to my mind, because obviously more details is going to come out, and think about this. You have a first assassination attempt, which the Secret Service failed to do their job. Thank God they actually did their job this time, because all it takes is one situation. And how did the dude get so close? And it would seem as though, you know, if you are a former president, because I'm pretty sure you can't get close, not even remotely close to Obama. I'm pretty sure you can't get remotely close to Clinton. You can't even get close to Hillary Clinton for that matter. But we got a former president who's also running again, and people are getting so close, and you're not getting away, none of that type of stuff, but you are sitting in the bushes with a gun poking out. According to this report, the early report, you know we're going to talk about it on the Millionaire Morning Show, and by that time we should be able to have way more details. But you sitting in the bushes like a movie, like the movie Shooter with Mark Wahlberg, and you're covered in bushes trying to assassinate a former president / possible president. I think that there is so much fear. I believe that I think it goes way deeper than whatever it is that they're going to tell us on the regular news. But I think that there is so much fear that this man is going to win the president of the United States of America again and really clean the swamp this time and really change things, especially with the way that he's talking as far as auditing the federal government from the top down. I think that it's so many people, career politicians, people that are so fearful that this guy is actually going to become a part of the president of the United States of America, and we not really paying attention to what's going on. Let me see if we can get a little bit more out of this news report, because this is the one that is the most recent that I could find that actually goes through some of the details and adds some of the value into the conversation so that we can really have this in truth.
And we want to be careful with the information because we want to get it from authorities and not go into speculation. Any sense, though, from what you've been able to determine, what could have potentially been a motive yet? Or is it much too early, David, in terms of politics, in terms of background, the fact that the gunman allegedly had a GoPro to potentially shoot and film and video what he was going to do and put it on social media? What allegedly motivated this potential assassin?
Well, you know, I'm going to be honest, we don't know at this time. I mean, this is coming from two law enforcement sources, the name. I think they're trying to figure that stuff out right now. Every case is different, but for perspective when it comes to motive, and this is a question that we've asked many times covering law enforcement, when can you decide what makes a motive? The July 13th shooter, Thomas Crooks, who died on the scene there and was killed by law enforcement, the FBI still has not been able to come out with a motive in that case, and there's a possibility there may not be a motive in this case. There were some shootings, and this was not a shooting today, and the former president, thankfully, was not hurt, but there are cases where there are no motives. That may not be the situation here. It's just too early to tell, given the fact this is only 4 hours old. They're still talking to him, figuring things out, going through his social media, seeing if he had stuff written down. But the advantage that law enforcement has here that they did not have in the case in Pennsylvania is they have a suspect who's alive, who's in custody, who can speak to them, so they can find out stuff a lot quicker, Eric.
Yeah, a Martin County sheriff said that he had no affect. He was blank. He really didn't say anything when he was arrested in his Nissan SUV on I-95. A remarkable job, by the way. A witness took pictures of the SUV and the license plate, so they were immediately able to put the license plate number into the computer system that, on those Easy Pass on the highway, was able to capture it, so they knew exactly where the SUV was, so they were able to pull him over. Any sense at all from what we know about him in terms of how that happened, what his planning was, even the fact that he secreted himself in bushes, and as we have been reporting here on the Fox News channel all afternoon, President Trump does not have the security level of a sitting president. That street was not closed. No one saw him in the bushes.
Exactly, Eric, and it's important to point out that the Secret Service, is equipped to take care of, obviously, protecting former presidents. But former President Trump's a different situation because he is actively running for president. He is the Republican nominee. He's out and about. He's holding rallies. He's seeing people. Other former presidents, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, of course, they have Secret Service protection, but nothing on the level of the current president. So the Secret Service right now, per multiple sources who work in the agency, admittedly is grappling with the fact that they're dealing with a former president who's running for president again and needs to have a higher security posture, a stronger security posture out there. And with two incidents in just 2 months, a little bit over 2 months, July 13th and September 15th, it, I think, brings that to the forefront. As far as his vehicle, he was in a black SUV. What's not clear is perhaps was the SUV thought to be law enforcement. Law enforcement travels in black SUVs. That's very common. Motorcades, whatnot. It's not clear any of that right now.
How would he know what Trump's schedule was as far as him actually going to this golf course and what holes he was going to be on and all of that? I hate for the conspiracy theorists in me to start to come out, but you have to start asking these questions. Why would they know? How would they know where Trump is going to be? And why haven't they? I mean, thank God that they actually did their job this time. And this is one of the reasons why I think it's spiritual. I do believe that God truly has his hand on this guy because, first of all, they missed on the first one. Second time, right, on this situation, it kind of pushes them to be a little bit more dedicated to protecting him a little bit more, even though he's not going to get the same level of security as the president of the United States of America, similar to what he was saying. But third, it's like if that first one didn't happen and then they didn't give him more Secret Service security and stuff like that, then we might not even be having this conversation right now because they may have gotten to him. So, I do think that everything happens for a reason. I believe that God has truly had his hand on this guy, on Trump. I believe that he is meant to be the next president in order to really clean this place up. Otherwise, we doomed forever. And, it would be prudent for the federal government, as requested in the first place, to issue him the same level of security, obviously with 2 assassination attempts, to issue him the same level of security as you would a normal president. Why? Because you don't want this blood on your hands. Unless, I'm going to just say unless, and I'm going to leave it there. I'm curious as to what y'all think. Of course, I'm going to continue to give y'all updates as soon as possible. And on top of that, I will be dedicated to this story on the Millionaire Morning Show. Make sure you tap in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you do so. Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. And then make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Peace.